Oh, hell yeah. How's it going, guys? Okay, so uh, one thing I wanted to cover before I go into the Dreadforge dungeon, I wanted to go over the patch notes because I was gonna post a video about the patch notes. So let me bring those up. Let me bring up dungeons, and then we'll get underway with our content. Let me make sure sound commands are on. All right. Oh. Okay. So so we're we're gonna look at the patch notes for Dreadforge. So there's a arch this. Oh sure, do a midday stream while I'm working, and 25 months, just one over a fucking 2-year sub. Dude, thank you so much, man. It's hard to believe that it's been 2 years since you stumbled on my stream of Horizon Zero Dawn. It's been an honor to have you here, my friend, and I hope work is going well. So there's a new so Sinjin, he was just like the guy on the side of the village, didn't do anything. So now he allows you to transmog your character. Full transmog, you can change race, you can change gender, hair, makeup, whatever. And I believe it's 5 platinum flat to change your character, so it is a little expensive. There's a new crafting system, which I'm going to be doing a full video on. Is Fuse still streaming? Yeah, he is. Oh, well, you guys just get to see that tab up there. So the star system, so the way it worked before is you would find equipment and there was a chance that it had stars on it, which just increased the stats on the gear. But now you can increase the stars yourself with money, eternal essence, or essence of the weapon itself. So if it's, common, super, uh, legendary, eternal, all that stuff, you just need to use that essence for the upgrade, as well as magical cores, which are dropped from random bosses. You're supposed to get them for sure from every single final boss of each dungeon. I ran 2 dungeons yesterday, and I ended up getting 4 magical cores. It was pretty cool. So you use the magical cores to upgrade your gear, and it's going to be a little pricey. I was talking to one of the devs, and it's like 20 platinum for a max level eternal item. So from 4 to 5 stars is like 20 platinum. Crazy expensive. So like I said, magical cores can be found from random bosses. It's not like they drop a lot. I had 1 drop from lesser bosses in the Crypt of Horrors and 1 drop from a lesser boss in the Dark Hollow. But I also did the Chest of the 7 in the Dark Hollow, and I got 1 from there as well. So that was pretty cool. Maybe I'll do a side video on, like, drop rates on magical cores, but I probably won't need to. I do want to do a personal video for the Chest of the 7 because I feel it gets lost in my Dark Hollow video. So now there's account bound items. So before it was just soul bound and you couldn't like trade it between your characters, or at least you weren't supposed to be able to. But now you can exchange all items between all your characters. You just can't trade it to other people. So if you find elite fragments for a champion and you're playing on your wizard, well, now you can give it to your champion. Oh, and account-wide dungeon unlocks, which is cool. How difficult is it to get platinum? Platinum is 100 gold, and if I do a full dungeon run and break as many things as I can and get all the loot that I can, I will make about 1 platinum a run. So it can be kind of a grind. They've increased the grind of the game significantly. That's what I like to fucking see from devs. Gives us thirsty bitches more reason to spend hundreds of hours farming. Exactly. They also made it harder. So we'll get to that. So now there's a party level range selector. There was a lot of complaints in the community about really high level people coming in or really low level people coming in. And now you can set it to what you want. There was also a bug where if you were playing multiplayer and the party leader like went back to the village, there was a chance you would lose the stuff that you grabbed, or in some instances you lost your character altogether. They did find a way to fix it by you know, at the end of a dungeon, if you just leave the party before the host goes back to town, you should keep everything. But not everybody did that. So they've created a new backup system that has 5 restore points. So it'll save like the most. It'll do like, you know, the 5 most recent backups on your characters, and that way you should be able to pull it from, you know, one of the backup files. I think that's a pretty cool feature. You know, I would like for them to get rid of the bug altogether, but the fact that they're still working on on getting rid of it, and then is like, here, if anything happens, you know, you can restore your character. So I kind of like that they gave us that little bit of access. So some balancing changes. So normal used to scale with you all the way. Now when you hit level 15, the enemies stop scaling. And hard was reduced by 50%. It doesn't say that they increased the difficulty on nightmare. But I feel like they did. Or maybe maybe they tweaked some character stats or something. But the runs I was playing through yesterday, I was dying a lot quicker. And it was refreshing because I felt like I was doing way too much too easily. They did go through some improvements on characters. They improved Slash on the champion's two-handed weapons, which I think was needed because Slash was awful. They updated Upheaval, so it hits more people more frequently, which is awesome because that's the champion's strongest move. Exorcism for the cleric has been updated, which is nice because that is like the cleric's strongest move, and it was always really lackluster. So it's nice to see that they gave it a little bit more assistance. Heavenly Strike, I haven't really looked at the tooltip, so I'll see what they mean by they improved it. And when it says it should be able to find enemies to strike, I'm not sure what that means. I never really had an issue. And then I like the improved resurrection to not make players think the cleric doesn't care about them because it doesn't work properly. I didn't really have a lot of issues with it, but I play mostly solo. They did update some of the rogue abilities. Eviscerate should hit a little bit better. Melee characters have had an issue with hit accuracy since the game released, so they're slowly getting better. That's nice to see. Phased Carnage is the rogue's strongest hitting move. He does like a little AoE move, and it looked kind of crappy and didn't really hit a lot. So now looks like they've updated it a little bit. And Phase Port is a teleport behind the enemy that stuns them, and a lot of the times it wouldn't teleport you; it would just stun them from far away. And now it says that works a little bit better too. They updated nothing for the ranger, but they updated the wizard. They increased the cone size of sleep, which, I mean, if you watch my wizard video, sleep's kind of useless, in my opinion, unless you're using it with the Ashen Magi set. And improved cone of fire to hit targets at point blank, which was really nice because if you were on an enemy hitting them with cone of fire, it was like you were putting your hand through them and the fire just shot behind them and no damage was taken. And then they improved Ember Lance as well. And then the other stuff in here is like really miscellaneous or niche. So like Keiko Demons, you know, they float around. They're easier to hit now. It would teleport me and it wouldn't stun. Interesting. I haven't had that happen. If they did balancing, I bet they tweaked stats a bit, changed modifiers and shit. They wouldn't need to even change the normal mobs, just the way stats work for characters. I think they just messed with the scaling of items a little bit because of the crafting. And so now... Yeah, and so the rest of this... Oh, increase how long players may attack High Summoner Gabriella. That's huge. That's huge, because that's the first boss of Icy Depths, and it's my least favorite boss in the game. High Summoner Gabriella will bring out Cold Snap, and he's just like a big ice elemental that fucks with you. And when you kill Cold Snap, Gabriella was only vulnerable for like 7 seconds tops. Like, yeah, it was not a long time at all. And certain classes are not good at burst, i.e. cleric or champion, or well, you know, rogue's not bad, but the champion and the cleric had a hard time with Gabriella just because of how long it took. So I'm glad that she now has more active time. They messed with loot chests, so now if you try to open it and you can't get all the stuff, it'll stay there, and then if you do open it, it just disappears. I kind of like that the clutter is kind of like going away. Improved boss fight system performance and reliability. I'm not sure what that means. Probably just less bugs. Improved ladder climbing skills for party members, and I think that's literally physically climbing ladders, because I did hear about bugs earlier like in the past. And then all of these, I'm not going to go through all the bug fixes because there's a lot of them, but mostly in the enemies and bosses, a lot of the stuff that got updated was really necessary. Sounds like stability things, possible crashes, or other miscellaneous bugs with various bosses. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. And that this is sort of like an oversimplification of this, right? Because, you know, these are all boss updates. I'm looking forward to seeing what's in the Dreadforge. Bug fixes are exciting to me. Yeah, me too. And then down here, this is not bosses. This is more like consumables and stuff. Things that got changed here. It is nice that they fixed the stat potions, because I've been using them for months without realizing that they were broken. And one of the community members brought it to my attention and was like, hey, I noticed my stats aren't updating. And then I looked into it and was like, yeah, actually, you are 100% correct. These potions are broken. So, and I tested it out, and it works now. So it seems like a lot of the issues were resolved, or at least taken a look at, and they're working on resolving. I didn't see anything in here in terms of like updating elite sets or ultimate skills, so that'll probably come later on down the line. Oh shit, a wild evening Chonky appears. What's up, Dave? Yeah, we're just going through the Dreadforge patch notes, and then which actually we just finished. And so now we're gonna go ahead and get into the dungeon.